Welcome all earthlings and other beings. My name is Lara and this is Aller Tarot and Art. And today I'm going to be reading your cards and drawing an image that I received in meditation for this reading. So what's going to happen is I'm going to talk a little bit about the drawing and then I'm going to do your initial spread, and then you'll see a video pop over here where you can watch me mostly finish the drawing, and at the very end of the entire video you can see the finished and colorized drawing after I do the read. So I had already started recording and had to stop the recording and start over here, so that's why this has already started. But basically what I was seeing was an eye that was in the middle, almost like looking out and seeing the truth of things, which tied into a couple of songs that I was getting, which I'll talk about in a minute. So this is, I'm going to be developing this and you'll be able to watch that. I'm going to set this aside for now. And I hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing great. Let's go ahead and get this spread going, and then I'll see you on the other side of this. So here we go. I have laid out your initial spread with clarifiers, and what I'm seeing here, we'll just kind of go through it. So there are two songs associated with this reading that came through very clearly, and the drawing should be popping over here. So one of the songs was Naked Eye by Luscious Jackson, and the lyrics are, with my naked eye I saw all the falling rain coming down on me. With my naked eye I saw it all. If I said it all, I could see. So she has like a lot of things she needs to say. She says, it's not a choice I tried to make. It's not a thought I couldn't take. Something told me it was time to give you yours and leave me mine. My vision started to be clear. I watched the sunlight coming near. I knew the day. I knew the night. I knew I could regain my sight. So she knows herself really well. She's had the lows and the highs, which I'm seeing in this reading, because you have like this is almost like night and day here, night and day. So let's just start over here and I'll work through this and show you what I mean. So right here you have the Three of Wands. That's usually about like some sort of expansion. It's a moving forward in life. Because the other song that I was getting was called Good Life, and that's by Inner City. And the lyrics, some of the lyrics go, love is shining, life is thriving in the good life, good life. And then no more bad times, only glad times in the good life. And no more sorrow, nothing borrowed in the good life. So whatever was going on here, it tells me that maybe you're overcoming some, like you're going to be overcoming some severe debt or something like that, because up here you have a lot of pentacles and you've had to be really strong. You really want to expand, and you have found your personal power. The Queen of Wands is lovely. She's very powerful. She holds that power in her hand. She sees who she is. She's been through so much, right? So she's very confident and independent. There's some really good energy coming through here. So knowing your personal power, turning your pain into power is very important in life, especially when you've gone through some difficult things, which I see here. And then we have the Page of Pentacles here, clarified by the Ace of Pentacles, and that's telling me there's a new opportunity coming for you. And you may or may not know about it, but I feel like you do, because it's kind of like, it's clarified by the Moon also, which is about, dreams. And you might not see it in its entirety yet, but I'm kind of suspecting you're coming into knowing what that is because of that song, Naked Eye. So like in the drawing over here, there's the eye in the center and all the spirals coming off, right? So like in the song, she sees very clearly, and everything, she says everything is all right, okay? So, okay, so this is like your dream, and you've had to walk away from things that happened in the past, maybe a relationship, because that one song is definitely about a relationship too. But it's like seeing things so clearly that you walk away from, what's not yours. And she says like, to give you yours and leave me mine. She sees clearly what needs to be, what is someone else's karma or someone else's responsibility and what is hers. Just keep in mind that he, she, and they are interchangeable in my readings too, so just use the pronoun that works for you. And also I wanted to say that this is not a personal reading, this is a collective that's watching, so if you're here, there's probably something for you, but if something doesn't fit, don't try to force fit it, okay? So, and then we have the Three of Pentacles here, and that's why it makes me think this might be a job. It could be a relationship, but this might also be a job that you're wanting or that's coming in because you walked away from something that wasn't working. So it's like night and day when you get this opportunity that's coming in, this job. It's like Eight of Cups is walking away from something emotionally painful, and Nine of Cups, which is also clarifying this Three of Pentacles, is getting wish fulfillment. So somehow this is going to be a huge shift. This is like, you look, this person who's sad and walking away, and this person who's exploding off of this treasure chest. It's like a lot of money's coming in, but it also becomes very emotionally fulfilling for you too, which, you know, it's like you're going into the good life, which is the name of that other song. And then over here, what I'm seeing is that you really had to juggle resources, which talks about perhaps you've had a lot of debt. Maybe you have credit card debt or something like that, or you need to pay somebody back. And the good life is where you no longer have to borrow anything. You know, everything is yours that you own. And yeah, you've had to do this without having all the information, because you have the Two of Swords here, which is kind of about having to make a decision but not having all of the information. And you've had all this like sorrow from the past you've had to let go of. You know, all these cups are going down into this hole right here. But see, on the other side of her, there's a cup that's full, and that's sitting right next to the Four of Cups, clarified by the Four of Cups. So it's the same card. Something like a missed opportunity is kind of what I'm getting. So maybe there was a missed opportunity in the past. Maybe you put a lot into a relationship, for instance, and it just didn't pan out for whatever reason. Or you put a lot into a job and you're just like, you know, did I just waste all my time? But you didn't, because you actually gained a lot of experience, and you know yourself better, so that you know the steps you do need to take going from night to day. So it's like going from sorrow to opportunity. And so because there's two cards, two of the same cards here, this is it's a very strong indicator that you've been going through quite a lot of, like, perhaps, yeah, feeling like a missed opportunity, and kind of like, well, what do I do now? And it's caused you to lose sleep. Perhaps you've had headaches or something like that, lots of worries, you've stressed out, because maybe you're like, well, where's the money going to come from to pay off the debt, or to pay this person back, or to deal with my situation so I can live and thrive and do the things I want to do. And then, of course, over here, then we have death, which is clarified by the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords, this is an unusual way to depict the Ten of Swords. Usually when you see the Ten of Swords cards in regular tarot, it's a person who's lying face down on the ground and they've got 10 swords in their back, you know, like someone really like stabbed in the back multiple times. And this is also what this means, but she's strong enough at least to walk away from the situation, which is interesting because it's right under the Eight of Cups, which is walking away from something that is emotionally painful. So there's like a death or an ending to something, which is what that Naked Eye song is also about. If you go in and you look at the lyrics, she's definitely like wanting to go talk to this person to get some completion and to close out the cycle. And once you do that, I see, you know, you've got judgment here. Judgment's being called on what's been happening in your life, but also you see how this, like, if I show you closely, see how this like sort of like she's coming out of, it's like her true self is coming out. She's finding her calling, which is often what judgment is about. It's not just calling judgment on other people. It's also really getting a wake-up call about who you are and making a final decision about stuff. It's like, yeah, it's like finding your calling and being renewed. And death does indicate that, because death is also about, which is clarifying, death is also about, it's about the change and then being able to renew after you let go and transform and release all of this stuff. So perhaps you've gone through this transformation and it was really hard for a while. You might have gone through your dark night of the soul here, is kind of what I'm seeing. But you're moving rapidly into this new opportunity, which is it is coming. So this is beautiful right here, this card. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some pull Oracle on this and see if we can get some more clarification on what's going on here. So what else do we need to know, please? I'm going to list these decks that I'm using, because I'm using several in the reading. I'm going to list them down below in the description box so that you can get your own, and also to like a thank you to the creators of these beautiful decks that I use. All right, what do we need to know for this collective? Okay, and one more. Interesting. Okay, another one. Yeah, look at that. Bravery, bravery. Yeah, okay, another one. Okay, so we have the Sin Eater, we have bravery, and we have gender. Okay, so Sin Eater says everyone deserves a second chance. However, you should be wary about granting it at your own expense right now. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. you do deserve a second chance, and other people do too. So if you're walking away from a relationship and they're like not wanting to let you go or close out the cycle, sometimes you just have to do that so that you can save yourself, so that you can, have your life being fulfilled rather than always doing things for other people constantly. So I had to learn this lesson too, because I tend to overgive. And so I had to learn not to give too much, to give more to myself and take care of myself first before, anyone else. Because it's just really, you got to fill up your own cup first, right? And then we have bravery here, which is interesting because we have strength over here, which is about being brave. It's about courage, right? And to make these changes, to do this expansion, which this card is clarifying, it does take bravery, it does take courage. So it says, bravery is what is required of you. Circumstances will come about in which you will be asked to face up to your fears. And kind of in that song, Naked Eye, she does, she does talk about that in the lyrics and everything, about having to face her fears. She's like done not talking about what needs to be talked about. And she knows that if she can get it out, if she can express herself and how her feelings about this and close the cycle, then she can see everything very clearly, because things have been kind of unclear, right? And this says gender. It says define your own gender. Don't allow others to do it for you. Remember also to be tolerant of the varieties of beauty. So beauty doesn't have to look one way. And also it might be too that you are maybe questioning what your gender is, maybe what your gender orientation is, or perhaps you've always known and it's just time for you to come out of the closet, basically. And I would definitely recommend that. Be honest with yourself at least. But I see that this is going to be whatever you're moving into is going to allow you to be more of what yourself is, because you had judgment here. This is your calling. So be your true self and appreciate your beauty, whatever that is, the way you express things. And we're in a day and age now where it's much more acceptable to just be whatever gender you want. He, she, they, whatever works for you, right? Or whatever's your name for that is. So I want to get your obstacles, though, and see what's going on here. So what are the obstacles for this collective watching? I feel like a lot of people right now are actually going through that. Like a lot of people are questioning what their gender really is. And for some reason, that's just kind of, maybe it's astrological or something. I'm not sure. It's just the day and age. But a lot of people they're switching their genders, or they're coming out as, being interested in other, different genders or the same gender. Okay, what are the obstacles, though? Okay, obstacles. And another one. Right. And what are the obstacles? Another one, please, for this collective. Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Okay, well, these are your obstacles. So I would say, because you have 6 of Wands here, the 2 of Cups, and the 4 of Swords. So right in the middle, you have the 2 of Cups. And so it might be that as you're trying to find out what your gender or preference is, or whatever this opportunity is that maybe you've had a hard time finding the right mate for you. And it could be that once you are clear about what it is who you are, and you're really honest with yourself and others, that you do find the correct mate. But I feel like that's been kind of a challenge for you, is finding just the right fit, right? Also getting your victory, because 6 of Wands is about a victory. It's about getting recognition, getting good news. So maybe it's been a while since you've had any good news. Maybe you really have dealt with so much that you're just sort of almost jaded, which explains the 4 of Cups here, because that is the card of being jaded. Yeah, so pulling yourself out of that would be ideal, like taking care of yourself is how you do that. And then in the 4 of Swords here, it is a card about meditation, so perhaps you do need to do that. You might need to rest more. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep, which would make sense since you had the 9 of Swords here, which is about losing sleep, having nightmares. Also, perhaps you feel vulnerable. Maybe you feel like you don't have the protection you need. This is where being a spiritual person and calling in your spirit team to protect you, like actually ask them to protect you, to intervene, actually helps quite a lot. I use this quite a bit. So I definitely highly recommend that. So maybe you're feeling a little bit unsafe, but this is where bravery and courage comes in, right? We had bravery here. Yeah, so you know, having the courage to do things is to come forth and be honest about who you really are to other people can be very scary. But I feel like you do have the inner strength to do this, and it will work out fine. So let's see what the solutions are, though. Let's see what the solutions are. What are the solutions for this collective, please? What are the solutions, please? Yeah, and another one, please. And then one more. Okay. So we have Shiala, Renee, and Zenith. Okay. So Shiala is she who creates. This is somebody who's very creative. And as a solution, because this is what we're asking in this particular oracle spread right here, is the best thing. What is the best thing for you to do? The best thing that's going to give you the best results. And I can attest to this, that creativity is exactly like always the way to go. And so see, she's got a tambourine down here. So creativity is not always about like drawing or painting or things like that. It can be about playing a musical instrument or just listening to music that keeps you high vibing, pulls you out of this, you know, these doldrums, this depression and this apathy, right? So use music, which I feel like is being emphasized here, to help you. But dance and move your body and things like that will help, you know, feel your own personal rhythm and sensuality, which is nice. And Renee is about she who hopes. So make sure that you're always like uplifting yourself and, you know, asking your guides for the strength to move forward, but also for hope. So find ways to be hopeful. Try not to become too jaded or cynical. And I know it's not so easy to stay positive when you've had bad things happen, but I feel like you're going to get through this just fine. You just have to walk away from those things that are clearly making you sad, people maybe who are not bringing you happiness in your life, and move towards those who actually do jive with you better, right? And then we have Zenith, she who prepares. So it says strategizing, devising, and formulating. You know, take the time to really be strategic in how you move through life. And also, to me, this is like what I'm feeling is that you need to be careful about who you tell about your personal life. For instance, if you're coming out as a different gender, say you've always been like a man and you want to come out as a woman now, right? There are just going to be certain people who won't understand, and that's where you want to be a little bit more guarded with regard to sharing who you are. So find your tribe, find those, be very strategic about who you talk to, who you share your personal things with. Make sure it's people who actually will support you and encourage you to be yourself, rather than people who you know will tear you down. You know, yeah, that's what it's saying. So just have hope, have a lot of hope. So let's pull another one here. Let's see what your ancestors have to say. Ancestors, what do we have to say? I'm going to pull 2 cards from this because they're big cards. All right, 2 cards, please, ancestors. What do you want to say to this collective? Nice. Look at that, a fire dancer. We were just talking about dancing, right? Over here. Please. This is passionate, though. Nice. Okay. So, you know, it's your birthright to be wealthy. And this, so your ancestors are saying, follow your passion, your calling, right? So be true to yourself. You know, I don't know if you've ever watched a fire dancer before, but they use batons and things like that, and they're lit up with fire, and that takes a real like focus, but you really need to love what you're doing. You have to be very careful with fire, but you know, right under the word fire is passion. So show your true colors, really be passionate, and share that, you know, with the, you know, right people, obviously, but see, you even have fire up here in the background. It might be, too, that if you have some sort of like altar or place that you pray, something like that, it might be good to like light a candle or offer some, you know, a cup of tea or something, and talk to your ancestors, because it wouldn't, if it weren't for your ancestors, you would not be here. Everything that you are for the most part, is it's from your ancestors, and all of your talents and your tendencies were probably developed by multi-generations of your ancestors. So be grateful for them, and then also like let them know that you're grateful. It's good to talk to your ancestors. I'd highly recommend it. But offerings is about wealth. So see all this abundance here. This it's just like a cornucopia of like food and things. And I would say that, you know, wealth is definitely coming for you. And wealth is not just about monetary things, although I see money in here. This is also about emotional fulfillment. So one of my favorite sayings is measure your wealth by the freedom you have to be yourself. That's by Kathy Colby, right? That quote. But that's one of my favorite quotes, because measuring your wealth, your freedom, how much freedom you have to be yourself, which is what this reading seems to be all about. Showing your true colors, showing your true passion and your true fire is wealth. That's wealth, is being able to do that and do it unencumbered. So wonderful. That's wonderful. So your ancestors are encouraging you to be yourself. Yeah. Okay. So let's pull from this deck, and we're going to pull 3 from this and see what else there is. And then we're going to do one final pull after this before we wrap things up. Okay. What else do we need to know, please, for this collective? Strength again. That's the 3rd card we received. That's about strength. Okay. Another one, please. Yeah. We become resilient, you know. I mean, we go through things and then we become very resilient because of that. So whatever, you know, you've been focused on that's made you sad or has been difficult to get over, try to be grateful for the lessons you learned, the things you learned about yourself, because now you know yourself better, and you know how other people operate to a certain degree too. So knowing yourself is very important to move through life. Appreciating yourself too. Okay. Right. So we have strength, we have peace, and we have purity. All right. So strength again, which we talked about. Here's strength over strength, right? Where was that? It was underneath there somewhere. It says below strength, supremacy of oneself. Yeah. This is truly appreciating yourself. This is, and see how there are peacock feathers coming off of here. This is really showing your true colors. So be brave enough to show your true colors. It's just a reiteration of that same message. And this one says peace. Remember I talked about earlier where there was rest needed. So meditation, and there's a person here meditating. See, he's kind of glowing and looking out there. So peace says harmony of the heart. So find peace within yourself, knowing who you really are, appreciating who you really are. Because when we worry about what other people think about us too much and what the world's expectations are, then it's hard to have peace inside. So when you have peace inside of yourself, then peace shows up outside of your life. And I know this for a fact. And this says purity, the breath of the heart. So purity to me is about truth. This is about living a clean life. This is about keeping your energy clean, which can only happen if you're really true to yourself and really you know, truthful with yourself about what you're seeing. So like that naked eye, she's finding purity in speaking her truth and understanding like what she's responsible for and what someone else is responsible for. So nice. Yeah, you're on the right track. This is, you know, it just sounds like you need to be a little kinder to yourself and just keep moving forward in bravery. But I feel like you're doing the right thing by coming out and, you know, being your true self. So let's pull, let's pull 2 cards from this Lemurian deck, and we'll wrap it up after this. So, okay. What final messages do we have, please, for this collective watching? And one more, please. These are huge cards, and I have tiny little hands. So, all right, one more, please, for this collective. Well, I mean, this is just ties all the whole thing together. It says shine your light and evolution. Yeah, it's a 44 and a 24. They both look very mermaidish. Well, these are the Lemurian decks, but you know, okay, so this again is just oh, it's laying over these same cards, which is saying, be true to yourself, shine your light, shine who you really are, be true to yourself. And the world wants that. World wants authenticity. This is the time of authenticity. This is not a time to be fake. This is not a time to cover everything up and wear a mask. This is the time to show who you really are and be your true self, so that you can be happy, so that you can spread that happiness in the world. We need more authentic, happy people in this world to raise the vibration. And evolution, you know, and don't be hard on yourself for having hidden who you really are for all this time. Maybe that was just, you know, the way you had to defend yourself. And maybe the circumstances you were raised in or lived in didn't permit you to feel safe in being your true self. But now you've evolved. This is about evolving into being your true self. I don't think this could be any clearer. Yeah. So good for you. You know, you just keep going. Just be strong. Believe in yourself. You might want to go check out those 2 songs. And I think you're going to be just fine. It looks really beautiful. And I'm very happy for you being able to just feel comfortable in your own skin and being able to express that to the world. So good for you. Well, that's your reading. Thank you so much. Then in a minute, you're going to see the finished and colorized piece. And I appreciate all who are viewing for being here. Thank you for any likes and subscribes. I do appreciate that. Comments if you'd like. And I do read your comments, and I sure do appreciate your time. So good luck to you, and until I see you next time, thank you. Bye-bye.